collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your timeless soulmate, romantic soulmate read for October 2020. Though timeless, I know it's a bit of a paradox, but whenever you're supposed to watch it. But putting this out in and for October 2020, and at this point probably into November as well. When I do these timeless reads with a timing thing in it, it's usually for about a month, right? So I am your reader, Mark Angelo, lYONS, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of lYONS, Mark Angelo lYONS, but you can call me Mal, and my brother Matthew is a Scorpio. Imagine having an older brother as a Scorpio. Yikes. Tricky, tricky, tricky. But, you know, it's how I learned how to short sheet a bed. So if you are new to my channel, please do consider liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and commenting, sharing, and all the stuff that helps YouTube channels grow, because I am shooting for 30,000 subscribers, even though I'm not quite at 2,000 subscribers yet, because for this reading I'm doing an extended read over at Vimeo, and once I have that membership option with 30,000 subscribers, I'll be able to keep everything in one place, which is, you know, very neat and tidy. I am a Virgo. Sort of tidy. Pisces moon sort of balances each other out. My subscribers, thank you so much for following along. Yesterday was a rough day. A friend of mine was diagnosed with, you know, that thing I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube, but he seems to be doing well. So it was just a really rough day. I did the Libra read yesterday, then got the news, and it just devastated me, but we've been in contact, and he seems to be doing well. So if you've been watching my community page, right, the little posts I put up every now and again, he says he's doing well. So here I am, back to work, and gonna try and catch up with at least my strict Virgo schedule. So let's get up in this gig, shall we? We are doing a soulmate contract read. We'll have divine feminine on this side, divine masculine on this side, and the center lane representing the soulmate contract itself. Soulmates and twin flames are not the same thing, though they are both soul contracts. Soulmates, you help each other heal. Twin flames, you teach each other how to heal yourselves. Soulmates, you really love each other. You give each other the love that you want. Twin flames, you can't give each other the love that you want, though you may give each other the love that you need due to the contract. Now, there are some links in the description box with this new definition of twin flame and soulmate. A bunch by me, one by Matt Kahn, Soul Contracts, Twin Flames, and Soulmates Redefined. We will be using Matt Kahn's Healing Mantra deck, the last 3 cards down in the extended. So there are 24 cards total in this spread. You'll be getting 10 here. There are 14 in the extended, right? So the first link that you see in the description box is the extended. So it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Even if you just do the YouTube stuff, right, you'll get 10 cards, because your sun sign is going to get very different information than your moon, your rising, or your Venus. It's just how it is. I find that for myself when I watch a video for my Pisces. It's just not radically different, but it points at the same situation as it does for my Virgo sun. So that's just how it goes. I think that's about it. Please remember to stay in your breath, right? Partner with the breath, as will I. Breath is spirit, so it'll keep you in the here and now, so you can really feel what's going on in your Scorpio intuitive field by being here now. Yeah, and I will do the same to bring you through the clarity, guidance, and grace that I've been trained to do since I'm 12 years old. I'm 52 years. I know I don't look it. Witchcraft. No kids. That'll do it. No wrinkles on this face. The only crow's feet I'm aware of are on actual crows. So let's get up into this read, shall we? We're going to start with the Caroline Myss Archetype deck. We'll get one for her, and I'm going to say her for the Divine Feminine so my brain doesn't implode. One for him for the Divine Masculine, and then one for the contract itself. But the center lane you will not see unless you go to the extended, except I am putting up a preview at the end where you will get the Caroline Myss Archetype card for the entire contract. In other words, her, him, them. You will get the them card if you stick around for the preview at the end. Coca-Cola, let's do this. Breathe. Oh yes, my beloved pantheons. of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Thank you for the prayer time this morning. I really needed it. Literally prayed myself out of bed today. So please, my pantheons of the divine, I need 3 cards. 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, and 1 for the overall contract, the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual soulmate contract, October 2020, or timeless. Yes, I will mention that once I get these on the table. Please, 1 for the divine feminine, face down, 1 for the divine masculine, face down, and 1 for the overall Scorpio collective soulmate contract. Now, they reminded me to say this, that of course you have more than one soulmate, and you have more than one twin flame. That's part of the new definition. Twin flame, I feel like, has really has been redefined to really be what we used to consider karmic relationships. My father and I were very much a twin flame contract, so you have more than one. They're not all romantic, sexual. My mom and I to this day are still soulmates. We help each other heal. Doesn't mean we don't have our arguments, although we haven't in a really long time. But I was hell on earth to raise, so, you know, we didn't have locked swords, we had locked shields. Little Patsy Stone for you there. So let's see who we have here. Now, the thing with archetypes are neutral, meaning that they are light and dark, light and gold, shadow and light. So the shadow attributes that are written on these cards by Carolyn Mace, they might be a little triggery, but they're supposed to be, right? Because it's the stuff you don't want to look at. It's stuff back in the shadow, right? Or the stuff you may know about, but you don't want anybody to know about, right? Oh, well, here we go. We have got the divine feminine as the athlete archetype, and this is the creative family, right? The creativity family of archetypes, because an athlete creates, right, the next level. They create their body a certain way. They create regimens. So very much like, think bodybuilder, but not just that. And you can have the athlete archetype without being necessarily athletic. I mean, I am athletic. I was a dancer. I still am. I'll frug out around the apartment. I mean, I did jazz, tap, ballet, you know, in the 80s. I was going to live forever. I was going to learn how to fly. Hi. Actually, I kind of still am. So let me read this to you in a minute. But then the divine masculine is the wounded child. Now, we are talking about an adult here. Let's just get that out of the way. Everybody has the child archetype. Not everybody has the wounded child archetype, right? So there are different subsets of the child archetype. It's part of the survival family. Everybody has the child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute, and all of those are neutral, right? There's positive and negative, light and dark, and all of those. So a divine feminine who can really kind of build things within themselves has that athletic endurance, for example. And this wounded child in the light or the shadow, we'll see how that plays out. The shadow attribute of the athlete, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends. We've certainly seen that in the news for decades. False sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Bite anybody's ear off lately? You kind of see where we're going there. We've seen plenty of that over the decades. But the light attribute, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, right? So someone who has any kind of handicap, right? Not just the physical ones, but that who really is dedicated to transcending those. It's huge. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. And the strength of spirit is that athletic prowess of keep going. You can do this, right? Like your own interior cheerleader. And really, aren't cheerleaders athletes? I mean, flipping their shit around all over the place. I could never do it. Not me, but I used to do lifts, like, because I was the big guy in the dance class, so the women would throw themselves on me. I had the time of my life. Very dirty dancing, although not so dirty. I never danced on a pole. I danced with a bar, but never on a pole. The wounded child archetype for the divine masculine, the shadow attribute, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, and boy, have I met those. Boy, have I worked for those as a spiritual counselor. Resists moving on through forgiveness. So there is a lesson of forgiveness here, always with the wounded child, because they have wounds that as long as they blame, they can't really shift those wounds, right? Because everything happens for us, whether we like it or not, for the soul, not for the personality. Well, they keep saying to me, I say, well, when am I going to get what I want? They say, well, when what you want and what you need are one and the same, then you'll get it. It's very much a good thing for a child to learn early on, but that's not what I was raised with. Certainly, that I was raised with, put your nose to the grindstone, work hard. You've got to work. You better work, right? And that's not necessarily the way there. Plenty of people work their brains out and they don't get what they want, right? So everything that happens to us in this world from jump, right, since we come out the womb, is here to help the soul grow and develop. You know, it's just true. Now, catch the light side of the wounded child. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. So remember, this is not about biological gender. This could be a woman, this could be a man, vice versa. They could both be women, could both be men. And remember, we're not looking at just any old soulmate contract. We're looking at the romantic, sexual, intimate ones. So, you know, you bring the word child into that, it's ookie, but everybody has a child archetype. Everybody has that within them. The child archetype is the guardian of innocence and new beginnings, right? Seeing things with fresh eyes, like a child, right? Oh, and safety. So if the child doesn't feel safe, it's going to cower, right? It's sort of the foundation of the word coward, right? If they don't feel safe, you could take them to the happiest place on earth and they'll be terrified, right? Okay, you may not know who you are at this point unless you really have no connection to the athlete archetype within your own energy field. But everybody has the child, but the wounded child, I think you would know. If not, don't worry. Like I said, you're getting 10 cards. In this spread, we're going to take Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Again, the 3 lanes, her, him, them. We'll see the them in the extended. But to see what's going on inside of them, right? This is the stuff they may or may not be expressing or sharing, which is sometimes helpful to get a little peek, you know? Take a nice deep breath. My goddesses, please, the collective divine feminine of the universe, I need 3 cards, please. 3 cards in clarity for the Scorpio collective. Hey, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying, soulmate, contract, October 2020, or timeless. Whenever they are meant to see this reading, please, can you give me 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine? Please just leave it in... Please just leave it in my hands. I hear you. I hear it. They're saying, slow it down, kid. And 1 for the Scorpio collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying, soulmate, contract, October 2020 or timeless. So we will look at that in the extended. Okay, we've got the divine feminine athlete, and inside she has got the 7 of blades. Now what I love about the 7 of blades in this deck, it's not that sneaky vibe you see in most tarot. This is the card of meditation. So here we have a woman ice fishing with her spear poised over the hole in the ice, right? So not so much waiting, but that stillness. Right? Like that vibe right there. No, didn't you think your computer froze for a second? So for an athlete to have that going on inside of them, we're looking at a deeper introspection, but more than just thinking, like listening to what's going on, that meditative thing. Now, Matt Kahn, who I adore, I've never met him, he don't know who I am, it's fine. Like, I promote his stuff, but I'm not getting any money for it, so no biggie, I don't mind. I always promote that which works for me. I think that's what being a spiritual teacher is, right? Share what works for you, not everybody's gonna get it though. So, he says that meditation is sort of just like being still so that God can find you. I think that's genius, right? Instead of like trying to make something happen, it's just like, here I am. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. Come take me, right? I don't mean up and out, but I mean, you know, for that insight, for that awakening. It's the ultimate receptive mode, but this is a mental card, element of air. So there could be some introspection going on here, but it feels more like meditation, contemplation than just going within, right? It seems a bit more focused because an athlete, like how many athletes now do visualization, right? I read Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. What was I? A senior in high school, 1985, 86. So, you know, oh, let's visualize for success. Visualize. For the wounded child, divine masculine, we have got the Three of Pentacles, absolutely one of my favorite cards in this deck, the Clay Woman. She takes the dirt beneath her feet, essentially, and crafts it into something beautiful and practical. But at this stage, her fingers are still in wet clay, molding it, sculpting it, has not as of yet been placed into the oven, the kiln, K-I-L-N. I was raised by a nursery school teacher. I know what a kiln is, so that it hardens and dries and becomes something more permanent. What does that say? That inside of them, they are developing a more solid foundation. It just hasn't completely solidified. It's a good foundation, but it's still mutable earth, changeable earth, and mutable earth is Virgo, and I am one. Right, we're not looking at that one. So, you know, there's a lot of internal workings going on here. It feels like the divine masculine, it might be more formulation of plans, right? It's like, well, I could do this and I could do this, and I'm going to get my financial world together, my physical world, you know, my body together, check my nutrition, maybe do some exercise, but more of an interior building. This can even be about planning, but nothing set in. Well, clay, stone, not stone necessarily, but pottery, not set in porcelain, I guess you could say. All right, we're off to an interesting start, still a little amorphous for me, still a little vague. Let's see what we can see on the outside using the Mythic Tarot. This is Daughters of the Moon Tarot, if I didn't say. I always try and call out the decks, even though they're in the description box below, right? I do advocate for the things that serve me and help me serve others. So let's turn to the Mythic Tarot, the voices of the gods. Shall we? Take a nice deep breath. My gods of Scorpio, Hades and Poseidon in particular, please, I need 3 cards for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. 1 for the Divine Feminine, 1 for the Divine Masculine, and 1 for the overall contract, the Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, hey, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy-wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract for October 2020. Or timeless, please. I need 1. This is about the outer, what's going on in the yang and the divine masculine aspect of both of these people, the divine feminine athlete and the divine masculine wounded child. Please, what do you got for the divine feminine? Please show me what's going on for the divine masculine, and 1 for the overall contract in the outside world, right? We already did the yin, this is the yang. And by the way, you might notice that I'm shuffling a little bit longer. I learned that the way, if you really want to get the cards in any deck to shuffle, riffle them 9 times. That's mathematically how it works. I don't know. The internet, what are you going to do? All right, so for this divine feminine, again, we've got the athlete, right? Transcending limits here, but meditating, focusing on the inside. Oh, and with temperance on the outside. So that temperance is very much an athletic card, right? Because you just can't work out all day long, every day, 7 days a week. I mean, you can, but the body needs to rest, right? So temperance. And I've been saying this a lot when the Temperance card comes up. I've been watching these videos on YouTube, metal restorations, right? There's so many channels where they take these rusted old beat up things, some of them are really old, like hundreds and hundreds of years old, antiques, and they dip them in acid and attach them to electrodes in the acid, and they put them in fire, making them white hot, and then they dip them in like oil to temper the steel, to make them stronger, right? So they are getting stronger, but it's also a card of patience. Like, go watch some of those videos. I find them fascinating, and some of them are very AMSR, is it ASMR? AMSR, AMSR, whatever. So go check those out, and you'll see what I mean when they say, I'm now going to temper the blade, and it's fascinating. And what it looks like at the end is so gorgeous compared to the rusted, twisted, busted, rotted, gutted Gila monster that it started with. Thank you, Alyssa Edwards. Yeah, great. My spirit guides are still alive, and most of them are drag queens. Coco Peru, mostly. So that meditation on the inner and temperance on the outer does make sense for a divine feminine athlete in terms of an athletic inner life, transcending those limitations. It's really cool. I like hot. Could be a guy, remember. So for the divine masculine wounded child, remember 3 of Pentacles, molding the clay, really have everything they need but still has not gone through the full hardening process. That sounds interesting. Well, on the outer, we have Athena here holding the Ace of Swords. So there is a communication, a new beginning of thought, a communication, a new idea. But, you know, I really do feel like a lot of new ideas start with some sort of communication, right? Even if it's reading a book, that's a form of communication. Somebody wrote something down, you're reading it. So an exchange, a new idea pops in. But because this is the divine masculine, I feel like there's a communication coming from the divine masculine to the divine feminine, and she's sort of preparing for it. Now, my guides gave me a very specific intention for these readings, and I have it written down in front of me as a reminder. May these readings help the soulmates heal, so they may help heal this world heart by heart. That because of unity consciousness and the quantum entanglement of soulmates, whether or not you know each other, soulmates help each other heal through quantum entanglement. So as one heart heals, the other heart heals. But because of fifth dimensional unity consciousness, when one heart heals, all hearts heal. So they said to me, 2020, this year, considering what we have been through, has been sort of the preparation ground, the crucible, the alchemy for us individually, so that they can start pairing up the soulmate contracts, the romantic ones. Because, you know, you have a soulmate contract with your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, friends, all that stuff. Great. Those are, in a sense, easier. Not saying that family relationships are easy, but, you know, those are the ones you can get away from incarnationally. But it is the romantic, sexual, intimate ones that we've been struggling with for millennia, right? There's been a few happy ones here that go well, and of course we all know that older couple that have been together since Jump. But imagine the infusion of the love on the planet as these soulmates come together, right? Helping the world heal, right? So whether you know each other or not, near or far, communicating or not, hate each other right now, because you go through that too sometimes with soulmates. That's what we're looking at here. I don't know that these two know each other yet. Maybe we will see in the next 4 cards down. That will be here in YouTube. And 2 of those cards that you will see on YouTube, though I will pull 3, are from the Whispers of Love Oracle, the voices of the higher selves. Let's get them on the table and take a nice, deep breath. Okay. He said put your feet on the floor. Okay. The higher selves of all involved. Please, I need 3 cards. 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, and 1 for the Scorpio collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying, soulmate, contract, October 2020, or timeless. Please, what is the whisper of love, the voice of the higher self for the divine feminine? What is the whisper of love, the whisper of love from the higher self, the voice of the higher self for the divine masculine? We'll turn that like that. And 1 for the overall Scorpio collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying, soulmate, contract. I don't usually pull kickers, but that one they said to take. All right, again, divine feminine athlete, Seven of Blades, Seven of Swords on the inside. Deeper meditation, not that sneaky, sneaky stuff unless they're contemplating being sneaky, sneaky. I don't get that vibe there with Temperance. This is such a card of patience, right? So they're giving me this image of somebody who wants to excel at a sport, right? And we're just using that as an example. It can be with anything. Or you could do it in cooking too. It's like, I want to be a chef. It's like, well, start with a soft-boiled egg, right? You have to build yourself up to that. It do take patience, right? But there is also a healing and a balancing here going on the outside, the yang, the masculine aspect of this divine feminine, and how interesting the voices of the higher self. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through action. So I've seen this a lot in these reads this time around, where the divine feminine seems to be taking the action. Now again, it's not about gender, right? But perhaps they are building up to that, right? Really contemplating deep, really getting in touch with what's going on inside of them, bringing themselves into this tempered, stronger place of balance so that they can take action. Maybe the action on this communication from this Ace of Swords. So here we've got the divine masculine as the wounded child, right? Three of Pentacles on the inside, maybe building up their own, well, sense of self, I think, would be something other than an earth card, right? Three of Pentacles, it's about a solid foundation. Perhaps they are in a place of contemplation about getting their shit together, right? Like, I got to get my foundation back, and I there could be some creativity in there for some of you. And remember, with the Ace of Blades, the Ace of Swords, there is this new idea coming in, a new idea expressed, but certainly it feels like a communication. An ace, something that can grow into a deeper conversation, which leads me to think these two either don't know each other, or if they do, very little communication going on. What is the voice of the higher self is practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. Now, seeing things from a different perspective doesn't always mean see things from the other person's perspective. It can be see things from the soul's perspective, right? Oh, this could totally just be inner work, right? Like foundational inner work. Not just like affirmations, but like learning how to love yourself, learning how to care for yourself, learning how to be compassionate with yourself. And, you know, the Matt Kahn deck is right there. He says that really the words of compassion to give yourself are, it's okay. It's okay to think these thoughts right now. Because thoughts are things, they're passing through the air and they're going through your crown and your third eye, right? What do you do with them once they're in there, right? That's your choice, third chakra, right? It's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to be afraid. Instead of this spiritual bypassing of emotions through affirmations. Now, if anybody tells you that you're just bypassing, well, screw them. You do you. You can say that to yourself, but don't say that to other people, right? People have to go through their process, right? People have to go through their own interior molding and sculpting here. But I do get this feeling that, you know, the higher self is sort of saying to yourself, can you see that this is part of a plan? Can you see that you haven't done anything wrong? Neither has this divine feminine done anything wrong, that in order to be who you were born to become in this life, this couldn't have happened any other way, right? No, whether you know each other or not, whatever got you here couldn't have happened any other way. Infinite variety of quantum probabilities over every second, right? Apparently, because I can breathe that way, all these degrees in between, and they're probably going to end up in the same place. Breath is breath. But that the one that you experience, you're not in control of. That's the soul organizing its path, right? Say that one would bring us greater growth, expansion, healing, love of ourselves, strength, temperance, right? Interior work, than would the 8 gazillion other. Little kitty cat for you. Hey, Milky. Do you see something other than your ass on camera? Hi, these beautiful eyes. He's my youngest. He's a moose. He's not a kitten, but he's my kitten. All right. 2 more cards left that you will see, and then I will pop up a picture. You'll see the whole spread. Once all the cards are on the table, they usually give me what I call the overview. And then I'll put up the preview, and you'll get the 11th card, that Caroline Myss archetype card at the top of the center lane. And then we'll jump over to the extended. Nice deep breath. Healing with the Angels Oracle, Doreen Virtue. My angels and archangels, please, I need 3 cards. Who are the angels assigned to this divine feminine, this divine masculine, and this overall Scorpio contract? 3 cards in clarity, 1 for this. Wow, okay, so they're just wanting me to tell you that these are the angels that you can call upon, all 3 of them, right? Well, you'll see the 3rd one in the extended read. Hey, what are you doing over there? Excuse me for a minute, he's being a bad boy. Melchior likes to eat cellophane. I don't know what that's about. Plenty of food, but it's not good for him, so sorry about that. Yeah, so no matter who you are, the divine masculine or the divine feminine, these are the angels that are assigned to you individually and collectively, so you can call upon them to help you heal so that you help the other heal through quantum entanglement. In other words, don't try so hard to heal your other person, right? That will happen. That's what soulmate contracts do. Let's ask them again. Breathe. Thank you. I know I might not have been in the room while he was doing that. Please talk about divine timing. My angels, I need 3 cards in clarity. 1 for the divine feminine, 1 for the divine masculine, and 1 for the overall contract. Which contract? The Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract. October 2020 or timeless, please. I need 1 for the divine feminine. Is that her? Yep. 1 for the divine masculine. Just leave it in my hand. Yep. And 1 for the overall contract that we will look at in the extended. Here we go. Again, divine feminine athlete, meditation on the inner, temperance on the outer, actions speak loudly, and the angel is the angel of children. Holy goodness gracious, and the divine masculine has the wounded child archetype. What would the angel, the healing angel of children do but help heal children? Yeah, sure, literally. But the child inside of us, look. I am a gay male. If you couldn't tell, wow, have your gaydar checked. Sorry. But, you know, growing up as a gay male, I was born in 1968. Do the math, right? It's like it wasn't easy. I mean, I was bullied by members of my own family, right? So we have these wounds from childhood that affect our innocence, that affect our belief to believe in new beginnings, right? No, it's always going to be the same, right? We lose hope, we lose faith. The wounds of childhood are just vicious, right? No matter how much therapy, no matter how much you've been insulated or protected, you're going to learn and experience what you have to experience in these lives that we go through, written into the bodies, the roles that as souls we incarnate into. So why wouldn't this healing angel of children not just help the divine feminine heal any childhood issues going on here, restoring her to innocence, but of course, so that she can help the divine masculine wounded child heal. Wow, that's just pretty synchronistic. Oh my God, that's so synchronistic. Let's see what's going on for this divine masculine wounded child. Clay woman on the inner, 3 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords on the outside and the external. Communication, practice compassion, see things from a new perspective, probably a higher one I'm getting, or from the perspective of the innocence of that healthy child. They're just reminding me, awakens compassion. Yeah, thank you guys, and desire to serve other wounded children. So who doesn't have inner wounded child stuff nowadays, right? So they're totally going to help each other move through their childhood trauma. And what's needed to do that, right? Healthy divine masculine and feminine energy within us both. So the healing angel is blessings. Now, what would the angel of blessings do? Bring you blessings? We're already blessed, right? Blessings are in everything. They may seem like curses, but they end up being blessings, right? So that's what for me, the Angel of Blessings does as a healer, is helps you see the blessings in things, like if these two are in separation, for the wounds that they received in childhood, like seeds planted that have now grown and are ready to give forth the fruit. In other words, from pain comes healing, from lead comes gold, right? From shadow comes light. It's the process of alchemy. So this is a very, very healing soulmate read here. Now, you might want to check out the To Be a Soulmate reads that I did 3 weeks ago, less than a month ago, I think, because they are really going to help you see what you need to deal with and heal with inside yourself to be a better soulmate and kind of recover from some of your twin flame contracts, particularly if they were parental. But let's look at the bigger picture, shall we? Nice deep breath. Magic clap. Again, we have the Divine Feminine Athlete archetype, shadow attribute, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. The light attribute, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. And will means choice, right? So the power of choice, to stick to your choices that way. On the internal, she's got the Seven of Blades, meditation, contemplation, with Temperance on the outside, which really says to me that she's taken her time here, getting really, really clear, really, really opening up the receptive channels within her, because an athlete tends to be more yang. It's the action family archetypes, or archetypal family. So perhaps pulling back on the action, being a little bit more disciplined. Now, discipline and athleticism go hand in hand to me, but with this interior meditation, and remember, this is about this soul contract, not about them running track or lifting weights. So maybe really, really going within, perhaps to do inner child healing of their own, right? As we see with that child, the healing angels of children, right? To heal that stuff inside of them. But with the whisper of love from the higher self, action, speak loudly, express your love through actions. Action is eventual from this Divine Feminine, which leads me to think with this Divine Masculine, maybe that Ace of Swords, I can't tell which way that's going. Meaning, is the communication coming from the masculine to the feminine, or the feminine to the masculine? With action, speak loudly, it might be coming from the feminine. The Wounded Child archetype, though, for the Divine Masculine, the shadow attribute blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, results moving on through forgiveness. Like, why should I forgive them? Do you know what they did to me? They said I was ugly and my mother dressed me funny, right? Well, everybody gets their own portion of that sooner or later. The light attribute awakens compassion, and we have that practice compassion card here, and desire to serve other wounded children. And I do feel like these two are going to help each other heal a lot of stuff with that inner child schemata. Opens the learning path of forgiveness. So look, compassion and forgiveness go hand in hand, though I'll agree they're not exactly the same thing. But certainly in the extended, we're going to be using the Kuan Yin Oracle and the Archangel Michael Oracle, which should bring some pretty big clarity to all of this. On the inner, the Divine Masculine has the Three of Pentacles, something building, right? Has all the ingredients, it's just not cake yet, right? Has the clay, has the potter's wheel, has everything, even the kiln, but the pottery, the clay has not become pottery just yet. And again, on the outside with that Ace of Swords, new idea, new communication, new thought coming in, maybe a brilliant thought, but I guess it's going to play itself out differently on who's ever is watching this, because with the Divine Feminine, with action, speak loudly, it feels like she could be the one making that communication, although this could be an insight, a download that this Divine Masculine has through compassion, right? Or it's seeing it differently, right? Course in Miracles says the true prayer for a miracle is not give me a miracle, though that will work. It's help me see this differently. So this could be practice compassion, see things from a different perspective, see this differently. And with the Angel of Blessings on there, this is a blessing. Like, these two are a blessing on themselves and each other, but it really is the divine masculine that can bring forth the innocence of that wounded child into, we would say, I guess, the healed child, the healthy child in the light, that bravery to kind of take on new things and see things with fresh eyes, feeling safe in their own body. But this may be revealed in time, right? There's still a lot of inner work going on here individually, but remember, the quantum entanglement of soulmate relationships, as one heals, the other heals, whether they know each other or not, whether they are communicating or not. And I do feel like what the guides, the pantheons of the divine, shown me about these soulmate contracts finally coming together, the romantic sexual ones, that it's not quite time yet. But we will see what happens in the center lane here and the additional 9 cards that will hit the table in the extended. So there you have it. May the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all they need in their happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual soulmate contracts. October 2020 are timeless, that they may take actions that speak loudly, practice the compassion, seeing things from another different perspective, that they may heal the wounds of childhood within both of them together or separately, because there is no separation, healing themselves, healing their hearts, healing each other, and essentially healing all of life for the well-being of all. So motivating. So it is. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, share, and all that stuff. Help me get to 30 grand, my friends. And certainly do jump over to Vimeo. It's $5 if you want to check it out. Yeah, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The preview is coming up next. Thank you so much for watching, my darlings. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of all of this. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be. Hey, 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 my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Thank you for making the jump over to Vimeo, watching the preview, whatever it is that you're doing. I really appreciate it. Let's dive right back in. Literally turned off the camera, turned it right back on, sat back down, because this one feels, it's a very easy read for me, though the interior experience is here for both of them, obviously. There's some pain in here, so I'm already shuffling the Kuan Yin Oracle here. But I said that I would show in the preview the top archetype card for this Scorpio collective contract. And we have the Storyteller Archetype. Now, the Storyteller sounds all nice and sweet and makes the point that I make all the time, that as bright as the light is in the archetype is as toxic as the shadow is, and vice versa. Like the vampire archetype. Well, no, people like vampires. It's not a good example. But as toxic as the shadow is, it's as brilliant the light is, right? Because they're neutral, they balance each other out. So the shadow attribute of the storyteller is making up tales that hurt others, that harm others. Oh my God, it happens all the time. Have you been watching the news, right? Let's just lie, right? To me, it's the liar. It can be the compulsive liar, the storyteller archetype, or someone who just kind of, no, it'll all be fine, it'll all be fine. Where inside their own intuitive system is going, run for the hills. But the light attribute, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Now, I have the storyteller archetype in what's called my Kairos wheel. Sacred Contracts, Carolyn Mace. You have Chronos, Kairos, and Cosmics. 12 sets of archetypes each. 36 in total. So your Kairos are sort of the ones that come and go, come and go, come and go in your own interior alchemical chemistry. Alchemistry, I guess is a good way to say that. As opposed to Chronos, which are lifelong from birth to death. So with the storyteller archetype here, be very, very careful, divine feminine, divine masculine here, about the stories you tell yourself about this contract, because there's a lot of inner child stuff going on here, And not that you're gonna like heal that in a weekend. That's an it's, to me, inner child work is not a technique. It's a relationship with the innocence of your own heart, right? With the cute little cuties want to bite those ears off. So cute. You lay down, go CP with mama? Yes, he's a good boy. My boys are good. So whatever is connected here, also be careful of the words coming out of your mouth of what you tell other people about this relationship, right? Because that might come back to haunt you, particularly if you're coming from the divine masculine, that shadow child, right? It's like a tantrum. Yeah, so you got that one, the storyteller archetype. So if you're watching the preview, this is where we part ways. Check the link below, because now we're going to look at what's going on the inner and outer for this contract. So we have on the inner